It's a warm afternoon at the Cable Beach Camel Yards, and John Gapin is preparing his crew for the daily sunset tour.
Up, camels! Up, 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 up! Jerry, up!
It's not always glamorous work.
Yeah, we've got these poo collection devices. We obviously don't want to leave poo all over Cable Beach, so the Shire require us to have poo collection bags.
But John and his wife, who bought the business 18 years ago, reckon they've got it pretty good.
I feel like I've won the Tassotto jobs, quite frankly. I mean, my office is at Cable Beach. They're a beautiful animal to work with. Yeah, you get, thousands of people a year riding your camels, and they do so with joy.
Cable Beach has long been a mecca for tourists chasing the winter sun. And the image of the sunset camel trains is used around the world to promote Australia as a tourist destination. But some of those who know this beach best say its future is being put at risk by a dangerous level of congestion.
So the worst case scenario, of course, is that someone is seriously injured or, God forbid, killed on Cable Beach. And then we all find ourselves sitting in front of the coroner explaining our position.
Cable Beach is one of few in Australia where cars are allowed to drive down onto the sand.
It's part of the Broome social culture, if you like, where, let's go down, we'll meet you down north of the rocks this evening and we'll have a barbecue or a catch-up, or on the weekend, and I think over the years the appeal for tourists has grown in that area too, where people could, especially older people who haven't got, the ability to walk miles to get to access to a beach, they can go down and enjoy the beach.
The beach is 22 kilometres long, so there should be room for all. But the problems arise on a small patch of sand known locally as north of the rocks, where the high tide forms a traffic bottleneck. Locals say the combination of fast-moving cars, slow-moving camels, small children, roaming dogs and elderly nudists is potentially deadly.
Well, the worst case scenario, you'll have a car hit a camel train. You've only got to have a situation where someone's speeding, a child or a dog runs out in front of them, the people swerve to avoid them or something similar, and then it got lost control and they've hit a camel train. I mean, imagine the horror of that. To me, it's like they should not be mixed, cars and camel riding.
2 years ago, the 3 licensed camel operators asked to move to a quieter section just south. The local Shire has repeatedly rejected the idea. President Harold Tracy says the main drag should be kept camel-free.
The main thing people need to keep in mind is that the beach is there for everybody, and it's for families, it's for our tourists, it's there for our elderly people who travel, the grey nomads. It's there for them, it's there for commercial operators, both north of the rocks and south of the rocks.
Neither side is backing down. And now the cameliers have an unexpected ally in their bid to relocate.
When things get hairy, you get camel operators who are trying to win their way through. They're getting cranky. You've got people that are driving cars that have got no respect for other people.
Graham Campbell was Broome Shire president for a decade. He used to think that the camels should stay north of the rocks. But after a string of accidents and injuries, he says he now believes that change is needed.
When I first read it, I thought, yeah, council's made the right decision. But I've had a look at it since. I think that'd be quite a good thing. It would certainly lessen some of the issues up this end of the beach.
In 2016, a tourist suffered spinal injuries after being thrown off a spooked camel. And last year, a woman was run over as she lay on the beach. Tourists say they find it a strange spectacle.
And just walking up here with the camels, it's actually extremely dangerous. There was one point where our 3-year-old ran away from my grasp and all of a sudden there's a car tooting at him on the beach.
There's also the question of whether tourists are getting the view they were promised on the postcards.
You've got your dogs out of control, you've got nude sunbaking. And again, I just see all these things being contrary to conducting a passive, relaxing, iconic activity like camel riding with diesel fumes and balls and music and people running around and dogs off leads, and so it's just, to me, it seems a very strange mix.
Shire President Harold Tracy admits there are safety issues at the beach, but says it's not to the extent that the cameliers make out. Shire rangers are cracking down on speeding, but it appears the cars, the camels and the nudists will have to coexist for the time being.
It's all about monitoring these things, and if the time did come where we were saying, well, look, there's 40% more vehicles on the beach now than there was 5 years ago, then we have to have a look at that.